absorb that information. Again, you can find information for more information, and of course, to continue diving deep with regards to collaboration and just understanding how to end and leave in a collaboration. Go to collaborationcoach.ca. That is collaborationcoach.ca. And if you type in leaving a collaboration, it'll take you to the website, obviously, but there is a really amazing PDF. Okay. So they have this really amazing PDF, and this could be used in various scenarios. Again, an entrepreneurial, you can use it in a co-working, you can use it in corporate America, wherever you are in your career, right? But of course, we targeted entrepreneurs because we talk about co-working. So I think from a co-working perspective, this can be definitely used if you have people and members in your actual co-working space that may not be the best fit. You know what I mean? You have some people who they join co-working spaces, they're not necessarily productive, they're causing ruckus within the membership of the team, they're not necessarily the nicest person. We've had those. And again, I've worked in a co-working space before for almost 3 years. I worked in a co-working space in Atlanta, and so that was really my first experience with co-working. And so, I've seen a lot of the positive and the great and the greatness of it, but I've also seen the bad. I've seen some bad seeds. People come in, they're not necessarily the most professional. They're going around disturbing people who are really productive and working. They're not networking correctly. They have a very mean spirit. They're rude, unprofessional. So these type of steps as well can be utilized, maybe more in a shorter spectrum, but it can be utilized to also end those conversations as well. Not only just with your employees, as a community manager, but also with some of the members that you have. Because one thing that's big about co-working is obviously culture, right? Culture, culture, culture. You want to keep a collaborative, positive culture, and you want to keep people that's going to be in these spaces that are bringing that type of vibe. And if there's someone or certain members that aren't bringing that, and they're bringing some issues that are of major concern, you may need to have these conversations to end that membership. So these tactics can be used in any type of scenario. You just have to critique it to where you see fit and how you guys can utilize it. So, collaboration again, collaborationcoach.ca. They have an awesome PDF that talks about like leaving an organization. It just gives different steps, plans to leave, obviously reviewing any processes, communicating the messages, and of course, necessarily the follow up as well. So, stuff that I just talked about as well. Really great PDF. It goes into just some of the things that I talked about, but it also just goes into detail with those. So if this is something that you're struggling with, if this is something that you're truly, truly struggling with, I highly encourage and I highly advise that you go to collaborationcoach.ca, download this PDF talking about it's called Leaving a Collaboration, and download this PDF, go through this PDF and utilize that for your next conversation. If you have to have that conversation. If you don't, great. Keep this document, keep these tools and tips so you could just go ahead and have it just in case. But if that's something that you're really struggling with and you're just trying to find some way to organize it and jot it down, definitely highly encourage this PDF from collaborationcoach.ca. All right, guys, just to wrap up, we talked about today, this is season 2, episode number 5, ending a collaboration. And today we talked about 5 top tips to ending a collaboration prematurely that is just not working. One was understanding the why, whether it's personal or professional, and then collect necessary feedback. Number 2, can the issue be resolved? Number 3, understanding who's impacted and put in an action plan of transition. Number 4, make sure that the communication is aligned and making sure that it's executed appropriately. And then number 5, of course, is following up as necessary and as a goodwill to making sure that there's still a positive notion from both parties. Again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, this is the Co-working Culture Podcast. I'm just so proud of this podcast, guys. I can't even the rage of excitement that I have. This is season 2, episode 5, and I'm just so excited to be sharing this content with you guys. Again, we are on social media, Co-working Culture, on Facebook and Instagram at COWORKN Culture. So you can find us there on Facebook and Instagram. We are also, you can go to our website as well to listen to our show on demand at www.thecoworkingculture.com. That's www.thecoworkingculture.com. And of course, feel free to like, share, subscribe. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, we're on iTunes, iHeartRadio. Whichever platform is your favorite, make sure when you go on there, subscribe to us, guys. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. So that way, when we have a new upload of episodes, you will not miss a beat. You will get a notification that there is a new episode from the Co-working Culture podcast, and you can listen in immediately. I'm so excited for season two. It's just been a really great season, and I'm so glad to have you awesome listeners tuning in, and even just some global listeners. Like, we've been looking at some data, and I just want to, pat myself on the back right now because we've had some listeners as well, just looking at some of the data, looking at some of our top platforms, and looking at some of the people that are listening in because we are on the internet. We're global wide, so you can listen to us from anywhere as long as you have computer access and you have any of these apps. You can listen to us from anywhere. So, what I'm really excited about and what I'm really grateful for about this podcast is that we've had some listeners in other countries. We've had some listeners in Sweden. We've had a few listeners in South Africa. We've had some listeners in Canada, just to name a few. But just looking at some of the people that were listening in, it's really great to see that it's not only just in the United States. Obviously, the majority of our listeners are in the United States, but we to have some listeners that are listening to the podcast and that are listening to the content in other countries is such an amazing feeling. So it's grateful, very humbling. I'm super excited and I'm just grateful for you guys. Again, thank you for the love and the content. I said the content, the love, well, the content and sharing your feedback. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Thank you for listening, subscribing. We really appreciate it, guys. The more that we continue to do this, the more listeners we'll get, the more that we continue to share, the more that we'll have more entrepreneurs and more people being empowered to self sufficiency and being strong and taking their gifts and talents and being strong in a most primal, optimal, pivotal way. And so I'm so excited to be having that and to be a part of that as having this podcast, The Co-working Culture. Again, this was season two, episode number 5. Thank you guys for tuning in. Very, very appreciative of your love. Thank you, appreciative of your sharing and of your feedback. And so, of course, we will be coming back on with season two, episode number 6. We're already over halfway into the season. We have 8 episodes, and so we're almost done with season two, and we're getting started with content for season number 3. So we have more to come. And of course, you guys keep in mind, we do have the ebook coming out. So excited. So this will be coming out in March, okay? March 2020. So stay tuned, guys. March 2020. So next month we will be coming out. Well, I will be coming out with an ebook for those that are more interested in collaboration, those that have not been familiar with, I said collaboration. Rewind. Okay. So I'm coming out with an ebook that's talking about co-working. And so people that are more interested, entrepreneurs who are looking for a co-working home, those that want more information about co-working, not familiar with the business model, don't know where to start, have no idea what questions to ask, what to look for, so on and so forth. So I'm coming out with an ebook that is going to help you with that. And I'm so excited about it. It took me a couple of months to write it and just get the critiquing design and the content, but I'm so excited for the finishing touches. It's so great. I'm super excited. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. But yes, we will have an official launch date in March of 2020. As we continue to get more information and we get more the aesthetics and things in order, we will be announcing an actual date of when we will actually release the ebook. So if that's you, if I described you and you're someone that's it and just interested in learning more about the co-working type of culture, thus the Co-working Culture podcast, definitely stay tuned. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Facebook at Co-working Culture to definitely learn more about that. Or you can visit the website www.thecoworkingculture.com. I am your host, Ollie Joseph. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will check you guys later for season 2, episode number 6. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Very much appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your day.